Whatever the adventure, there's a BMW engineered to take it on. The X3 delivers a striking design with agile performance. The 100% electric i4 packed with pure electric energy. Or the plug-in hybrid X5, an impressive, versatile SUV granting full control on every journey. Choose what powers your next adventure during the BMW Road Home Sales Event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Hurry in for exceptional offers through January 2nd. Visit bmwusa.com for details.
The most wonderful time of the year. Although, let's be honest, around the holidays, things really add up. But here's the good news. Only at Verizon, you can get a single line for $50 per month when you switch and bring your phone. So while ice skating for two is definitely costing more, here at Verizon, you can save. Gifts for your third cousins? Steep. A single line with Verizon? Not so steep. A real tree? Pricey. A single line with Verizon? Less pricey. Flights to see Mima and Pops? Those are up. A $50 per month single line? That's down. Even a trip to the Atlanta Holiday Market will cost you more. But with Verizon, you can switch and bring your phone for just $50 per month for a single line on unlimited welcome, with autopay plus taxes and fees. All this to say, during the holiday season, when everything is costing more, you can get more for less right now at a local Verizon store. $15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G, 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
This is Joan.
Morning.
Joan is an owner-operator truck driver.
Yep, hauling some produce today.
She doesn't have the time to fool around.
Whew, so true.
Joan traded up to Geico Commercial Insurance for serious 360 coverage, not just for her truck, but for her cargo. She can even get serious savings for her inspection history.
So, where's the Geico twist? Is Napoleon gonna come out driving a forklift?
Bonjour!
No, this is a serious Geico ad.
Oh, no. Au revoir!
Get more with Geico Commercial Insurance. Trade up today at geico.com/commercial.
Live at lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
For some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Mike Anderson Seafood, Wesley Ed Nicholson, welcome to the Tuesday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff, along with Jimmy Odd. Max Gotro's not here today. I'm not really sure. Oh, there he is. He is mourning the continued demise of Desmond Ritter. Jordan Kinch is back in the studio. Andy Isco with us on Tuesdays. We do first class, second class, no class.
I'll tell you this, the Desmond Ritter, I still think he has a chance, Charlie. That offense is bad, but listen, he was getting treated. If he's going to get hurt. If they play two more, they're going to get hurt too. Man, they're not blocking anybody, man. They are not blocking a soul. And so what are we talking about with the Saints? It's pretty much out of it. What are we talking about? Why win, right?
For us.
But guess what? I could not believe the conversation about the Falcons should be losing. Some people, a chunk of people, smart people saying, what are they doing? Just do this, put in Penix. Like, if they are doing it when they spent $30 million or $50 million on Cousins and brought in and are a game away from playing in the playoffs, what the hell should the Saints be doing?
And we talk about this a lot. You don't tank by the players don't tank. The coaches don't tank. The front office tanks, okay? The players are putting film out there, to say nothing of the fact that if you don't play hard, you're going to get hurt doing this. So it's the front office that tanks. I get why the players that are there that are playing hard.
That you think the offensive line's playing hard for the Raiders?
I just don't think they're very good. I don't know how hard
they're playing. The Bears' offensive
playing.
line's playing good?
They're not. they're not.
Well, how about everybody wants to, and that's the other thing. Everybody wants to, say this guy can't play, including us. But boy, there is nothing but excuse makers for Caleb Williams, huh? I think it's a two-way street. He doesn't look good, and he's in a tough situation as well. But he ain't in the toughest situation in the league.
No, he's not. Let me back up on Kirk Cousins for a second.
He was bad too.
he's been bad for a month. To say to put Michael Penix in right now is not to say that you're tanking. You may actually be better off with
they're
him.
tied it in with the tanking.
Okay. Well,
no, they're
see, to me, that's two different things. Could the Falcons potentially make the playoffs?
To put a
Yes.
rookie in there with no experience ahead of a $50 million acquisition.
The guy up until the touchdown pass in the first quarter last night had thrown 8 interceptions and no touchdown passes in the last month. Okay, there's plenty of guys off the street can do that.
With weapons.
Yeah.
With a running game.
Yes.
With a running game.
Yeah. I mean,
he's had a rough stretch, man.
These two things are mutually exclusive as to whether you should be tanking or whether you should bench Kirk Cousins. Jimmy, at the end of the game last night, and if this
I'm glad we can get this much excitement out of this. They're horrible.
Well,
this
was one of the most excruciating games that I think I've watched all season. But they are desperately. I mean, they spent the entire second half on the Raiders' side of the field, and it seemed like every drive went from the 50 to the 35, and they'd either miss a field goal or punt. But they were terrified to let him put the ball in the air. The last drive.
Well,
the last drive, it's 3rd down and 4, okay? 3rd down and 4 from the 36-yard line, and they are absolutely terrified. I'm sorry, 3rd and 6 from the 45. The 3rd and 4 was the first one, and it was an incomplete pass, but they got the penalty. The second one is 3rd down and 6, and they're like, should they let him throw a pass? My goodness. And I'm like, this is like having a rookie out there that you're terrified is going to turn the ball over, and now it's a one-score game.
Good job by you. Good job by you, but it did not only pertain to their play selection. I mean, the 50-50 calls are then some. I mean, the robot's head had to he had a headache last night.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, every kind of, all right, what do you do here? Long field goal, go for it, a punt. They're punting.
Yeah,
they were like, we're going to let these guys drive the field on us. They were not going to get beat first. Now, to the degree, Raiders can't. I mean, how many 3-and-outs did they have? It was all night long. Boy, they went to prevent because the touchdown drive was just 7-yard pass, 7-yard pass, 7-yard pass. Finally, Ritter hit like a wheel route to Abdullah. Very nice throw there. And then they had 2 shots from the 35-yard line. It would have had more time had they not had a horrible call to run 2 more minutes off the clock. On a 3rd down to Villiano, what's his name? Real good. Spillane.
That's a weak call, too.
It's horrible.
Weak call.
He blocks the ball with his hands upright, and then he finishes, and he doesn't even make horrendous, such a bad call. And what would have happened had they had a little bit more time? Because they're going to play prevent again.
Yeah.
And they just ran out of time because, Ritter just kept taking 7. Finally threw 1 about 20 yards downfield. I mean, it was like 1 out of 15 attempts. It was so bad. But it's Falcons, boy. Hey, you get what you get. Belichick didn't finish in your top 3. Well, anybody who publicizes that gets what they get. And this is a poorly coached team, too.
And listen, 2 of they're 7-7. They're a game behind the Bucks, and they own the tiebreaker because they swept them. And they've got the Giants and Panthers are 2 of their last 3 games. Even bad as they are, those are 2 winnable games. They should beat the Giants.
The Giants,
the Giants.
Carolina's still trying.
Carolina's still trying. The Giants are not. Even if Carolina's trying, you can still beat them. Okay, so you are one game out of the
20 and lost.
1 game out of the playoffs, and this would be one of the worst playoff teams that we've ever seen. If you go in there, if they were to get in at 9-8,
Charlie, they should have beat the Chargers. Check the box score. You saw it.
That was a month and a half ago.
That was 2 weeks ago.
What game am I thinking about then?
Okay, well, I don't know, but
that's right. The Chargers is 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Maybe I'm thinking about that game.
Look at the box score.
I'm thinking about the game against the Seahawks.
They held them to like under 200 yards.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, he threw.
I'm looking at Cousins, and they're terrified of him.
No, you said it. I mean, any streak like that for a guy in games, he should be a little bit familiar with his new supporting cast by now. If that's going to happen, that's going to happen early, huh? But no, your timing, everything, your chemistry, everything should be. They have no injuries. I think Pitts was out. But, I mean, they don't use him anyway.
Well, Pitts played.
He did play?
Yeah, he caught 4 balls.
Okay, well, London, Pitt, a running game,
Robinson
2 bats.
was there. Allinger was there.
He likes Moody.
Yeah, Moody played. He didn't.
He likes Moody. I mean, so there's weapons there. There's a running game, and he is just an immobile quarterback coming off that injury. But it's going backwards. It's been ugly. It's been ugly for them.
I give Max, crap about Desmond Ridder.
I can't kill him for last night because let me tell you, what I see out of him, I see some worse guys than him out there. I see a guy that can move a little bit. I see some guy that at times he had no chance.
No,
you can't. But he's got to start.
He's a backup quarterback in the league.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
He's a backup quarterback.
But there's some guys starting even that he's got a little bit better. I just wanted to see him improving his touch, his accuracy, his processing and decision making. He can move. He can really move. And I think his touch has gotten a little better. I think it is. He had no chance last night.
For instance, he's better than Tommy DeVito, who we've seen start games.
Not even close.
Yeah,
not even close.
Just to name one. So yeah, he's not the worst quarterback
What's
in the
name
league.
Threw in which our boy Boyle. I mean,
Tim Boyle.
They got some. Well, he's not starter. Neither of those two guys are starters. So
He's a backup quarterback in the league, and the Raiders have him out there for the same reason that the Giants wanted to push DeVito out there, which is that they are. Would they have not had a better chance?
You saying those other guys aren't hurt?
No, I'm saying that the Giants put DeVito in instead of Drew Lock when they had the choice.
Well, who are the Raiders' choices besides Ritter? Those guys aren't hurt?
Aiden O'Connell.
He's not hurt?
He dressed last night. He's hurt, yeah.
Those guys are getting the crap beat out of him. Charlie Ritter got the crap beat out of him last night.
He did.
I mean, he can't even set up.
They are trying to get to the end of the season and take one of the two quarterbacks.
It's like,
same thing with the Giants.
Set, boom, he's out. I mean, he can't. He's got to get the hell out of there, man.
It was an excruciating game, and it depended on when you bet it as to what side you were on.
Last
night. Max, you owe me lunch today, by
Max,
the way.
what is the...
I got 5.5 from Max.
Max, what is the title of the first videos we shot for Bet Rivers? Chalk early, dogs late.
Yeah.
You bet it early, you got 5.5 or 6. You bet late, you bet an hour before, you probably got 6. You bet within a 15, 20-minute window for the game, you got 6.5. That's the dog.
Yeah.
Now, of course, they got that third kick blocked of the night, and a guy that I think it's his first.
Whatever the adventure, there's a BMW engineered to take it on. The X3 delivers a striking design with agile performance. The 100% electric i4 packed with pure electric energy. Or the plug-in hybrid X5, an impressive versatile SUV granting full control on every journey. Choose what powers your next adventure during the BMW Road Home Sales Event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Hurry in for exceptional offers through January 2nd. Visit bmwusa.com for details.
The most wonderful time of the year. Although, let's be honest, around the holidays, things really add up. But here's the good news. Only at Verizon, you can get a single line for $50 per month when you switch and bring your phone. So while ice skating for two is definitely costing more, here at Verizon, you can save. Gifts for your third cousins? Steep. A single line with Verizon? Not so steep. A real tree? Pricey. A single line with Verizon? Less pricey. Flights to see Mima and Pops? Those are up. A $50 per month single line? That's down. Even a trip to the Atlanta Holiday Market will cost you more. But with Verizon, you can switch and bring your phone for just $50 per month for a single line on unlimited welcome, with autopay plus taxes and fees. All this to say, during the holiday season, when everything is costing more, you can get more for less right now at a local Verizon store. $15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G, 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
Missed PAT. I think he might have missed
It is.
one.
Nope, it's the first one. That's the first one he's
kicking
missed.
Carlson's out of Auburn.
All year.
Yes.
He's only missed one kick inside of 50 yards all year.
It crossed my mind. Like, okay, no, he's out of his funk. He's good. He'll make it. Because when it comes down to that, boom. I call them, I've got friends that follow me or folks we see in the sports book, and it's just something. It's just Ryan saying on the auto locks. It's just, where you going so fast, Grasshopper? Patience, Grasshopper.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the chalk better. And listen, one thing I'm not good at is betting early, anticipating a line. Now, the day of, I can, but I would say even more times than not, I'll pick a play anticipating the line to go one way and it goes the other. It's not one of my strengths. This is almost, it's not nothing. There's some public dogs every now and then. There's a bit, wow, the team's getting so-and-so many points. They're usually playing on the road, ranked team. This one is usually that way. Chalk early, dogs late, and it was the difference. And a win, a push, or a loss last night.
I just don't – watching that game, I don't understand how the Falcons – when I looked at the yardstick afterward, I really expected to find it heavily twisted toward the Falcons.
Take away the last two drives when it went prevent.
And it was not.
Wait, it was till the last two drives. They went prevent.
Sure.
We the old saying, this is the way the NFL used to be. Team gets out comfortably, they play prevent, and a team can't get a yard all the game, goes right down the field and scores and backdoors it. That's the way it used to happen all the time.
Yeah.
But this is so bad. But why do that, especially after you give it up? Why let a team get in a rhythm?
To give them a spark. The Falcons started 3 drives in Raiders territory in the second half and got a field goal out of it and missed a field goal out of it.
I mean, but the Falcons' points were how many were set up off of the special teams, the block kicks?
Yeah.
I mean, it was 1 point on the extra point. One was the touchdown was after a turnover, right?
The first touchdown was after a 3-and-out. It was the shanked punt. The shanked
No,
punt.
that was blocked.
No, this one was just a straight shank. The one that went out of bounds right about the 50. The first touchdown that Atlanta scored in the game. It wasn't blocked. He kicked it from his own 21 to the 50. So that was the one he shanked. It went out of bounds. The other 2 were blocked. And
because one was blocked but still went forward.
Yeah. Yeah, there was, and I'll find that for you in a second. And then on top of all that, the safety is what ends up being such a huge play in the game.
Sure.
as far as the spread. And Orlovsky, opinionated as he is, actually had a good point. It's like, you really ought to spend just a little bit of time under center. Because when you do nothing but shotgun, and they were 100% in shotgun last night, you run into some short yardage situations. We talked about this 1,000 times.
Geez.
Usually it's on the goal line going in, but it's the same thing on the goal line going out. If you don't have the ability to quarterback sneak for 3 feet just to give yourself a little bit of room, if you got to start these plays 6 yards in the backfield, this is what you possibly end up
short
with.
yardage, get under center, and you get to your back hits the hole quicker. I mean, you allowed more time for penetration.
Except that you don't practice it, so
no, you
start practicing it. How about that?
Too much to ask.
Yeah,
you don't have enough time. I got to go to class.
What's for lunch today? Mike Anderson, so beautiful.
How about it? Huh? They are popping over
it.
here for the holiday parties, man. It is festive over here. They had the day with Santa and all the crafts and everything else. You came over here and drank all the Crown that day,
I
Charlie.
did, yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, but it was gone, though, huh? Parents had enough.
That's the funniest. Sir, it's pictures
poinsettias everywhere, the
the
trees. I mean, Harriman's does a great job over here with all of the decorations. It's just a really nice, it's festive, man. And so holiday gatherings, this is your place. And Tuesday it is oyster night. Oysters on a half shell tonight, 5 to 9 p.m. in the bar area or half price. And also our draft beer and wine by the glass is half price. So all kinds of great specials in the bar area on Tuesday night. Keep in mind, closed for Christmas and New Year's Day, Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, lunch only over here at Mike Anderson's. So this is our last time to be over here for the holidays. So we've got to get that holidays straight for you over here because Christmas Eve is a week from now, right? Tuesday, right?
A week from today.
Christmas and New Year's on a Wednesday. There we go. Yep. And, it's so festive that our buddy Suarez came over here in his Grinch polo shirt. I mean, the big Grinch green polo shirt, but he is bathed and he is well shaven today. He just went to he got a coupon at the barber shop, and so he is well groomed today. So that's always a plus.
Thank you for coming in. Live in Mike Anderson's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Yanni from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Remember, you can always get the show on demand. The new LouisianaSports.net, 104.5ESPN.com. Brand new Handycast. Last one before the break dropped last night. We've got video on every one of the LSU players that have signed in the portal to come in so far. So Rich and I went with that. You can check that out on YouTube on the Handycast. We dropped the new episode last night. Other Monday night game. By the way, I love the 2 Monday night game setup. I wish it had been 2 better games, but I do love the 2 Monday night game setup. Vikings easy over the Bears. Bears have not won a game. Tell me you think this has got something to do with it, or is it just a coincidence, Jimmy? They had won 3 in a row. Hard as this is to remember, they were 4-2, and they had the Commanders beat. All they had to do was defend the Hail Mary. This is late. They're
going to go 5-2, huh?
They were going to go 5-2.
That was a game they were going to steal, too.
4-game win streak, okay? All the momentum in the world. They lose to the Commanders on the Hail Mary, and they hadn't won a game since. That was 8 in a row as of last night.
But look at the wins.
Jaguars, Panthers, sure. They did beat the Rams. That was before the Rams were playing well.
You skipped the very first one. Oh, Willie Boy. Willie Boy, that was when they had like 160 yards.
Against
Willie Levis.
Oh, well, I was talking about the win streak. They beat the Titans in the season.
I mean, the whole win, all the wins.
The Rams is the only good win.
Rams is the only good win.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's when they had no Nakua and no Cup.
But
those guys matter.
Yeah, they were playing reasonable. That game against
I don't
Texas
care how you win Washington, and it was going to be a steal job.
Yeah.
Washington, man, controlled or dominated, somewhere in between. It was close, and they had a touchdown call back. They had to settle for field goals.
Yeah.
They were just going up and down the field, and Chicago was doing nothing. And then one thing about the Bears, the Lions game on Thanksgiving, the Washington, they get hot late with Williams. It seems like they kind of a late.
Because they're behind. They go faster.
Partly, and maybe the defensive front wears down and gives their offensive line a chance in protection. I mean, with Flores with the blitz package, I mean that was ugly last night. I mean, but they love making excuses for Williams. Man, I see both ways, but man, it's not. I mean, what would the media today have done with Peyton Manning 28 interceptions his rookie year?
Well, they were crushing him back then, so I can imagine.
No. They're not crushing Williams. They're all crushing the Bears. They're screwing this guy. Look what they're doing. They're killing him, ruining him. What would they have done with Manning? He had 28 interceptions his rookie year.
Yeah.
They would have said the Colts. I mean, I'm saying some patience, man. You're the number 1 pick. You go into a bad team. The Bears weren't the worst team last year because they had the pick. They had Carolina's pick, but they're better than most. But they're constructed like a flag football team. Got to protect him, man.
He has still got a shot to be the most sacked quarterback in NFL history.
Really?
Yeah,
David Carr.
I think it would take 10 more sacks.
Manning took care. He got rid of the ball quick.
Yeah,
he cared who he was throwing to. He wasn't getting hit that much.
But go back to my question. If they beat the Commanders, how much different does this look? And there's no way to know for sure.
So
they played the Cardinals the next week on the road. The Patriots beat the hell out of them.
The Cardinals beat them comfortably.
Yeah, the Patriots are not any good. I think that's the last game the Patriots won.
They hit Williams more than anybody this year.
More than that game against the Texans on Sunday night because he got obliterated that night. You remember that game?
Yes. And I got to say, because the Texans have a good defense. The Texans, you talk about a sophomore slump. It's almost at the end of the year we might have this discussion. Who do you want? I know it's crazy. Bryce Young or Stroud. I mean, he's had a rough go. He was one of two teams that won comfortably this weekend that had less than 200 yards.
Right.
Denver,
I still want Stroud, but I get where you're going. He's had a really rough second year.
Let's settle and say the gap has tightened a lot.
Sure. Sophomore slump is a great way to describe Stroud.
But
Whatever the adventure, there's a BMW engineered to take it on. The X3 delivers a striking design with agile performance. The 100% electric i4 packed with pure electric energy. Or the plug-in hybrid X5, an impressive, versatile SUV granting full control on every journey. Choose what powers your next adventure during the BMW Road Home Sales Event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Hurry in for exceptional offers through January 2nd. Visit bmwusa.com for details.
The most wonderful time of the year. Although, let's be honest, around the holidays, things really add up. But here's the good news. Only at Verizon, you can get a single line for $50 per month when you switch and bring your phone. So, while ice skating for two is definitely costing more, here at Verizon, you can save. Gifts for your third cousins? Steep. A single line with Verizon? Not so steep. A real tree? Pricey. A single line with Verizon? Less pricey. Flights to see Mima and Pops? Those are up. A $50 per month single line? That's down. Even a trip to the Atlanta Holiday Market will cost you more. But with Verizon, you can switch and bring your phone for just $50 per month for a single line on unlimited welcome, with autopay plus taxes and fees. All this to say, during the holiday season, when everything is costing more, you can get more for less right now at a local Verizon store. $15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G, 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
Some of these...
They've had some close calls. They should have beat the Vikings.
They should have beat the Packers.
And they should have beat the Packers.
They should have beat the... No, they just shouldn't have beat... That was a wild comeback by them. They needed an onside kick recovery to get it into overtime.
I guess what I'm thinking is they had a makeable field goal to send it to overtime. It got blocked.
But they had to...
Maybe they shouldn't have beat them, but they should have at least got the... It was a percentage play by the time they got to the field goal. No, the onside kick was unusual. I forgot about that.
Got to the field goal for Vikings. They should not have won that game. That was going to be a steal job. I mean, big time. But
Packers-Vikings Lions in a row, toughest division in football. They lose 3 games by a combined total of 7 points.
Yeah. No, they had their chances of all those games.
Yeah.
They had their chances in this but they had no chance last night. And they had no chance last Sunday.
Will Campbell, if you're out there listening to this could be one of the spots.
Where they're going to pick?
Right now, I think they're like in the middle of the top 10, which is
5, 6. You ain't penetrating that top 5 with them tanking teams.
Let's see. They right now would be the 9th pick in the draft. Campbell could be there.
Right. That's where he's. That's kind of where he's supposed to go.
Yeah,
huh?
Right. Him and the kid from Texas will both be probably top 10, top 12 picks. Will Campbell could very easily end up in Chicago. Minnesota, dominated this game, even with the missed opportunities that they had. The 1 4th down where Darnold was forced to just kind of throw it up, but they had control of this game the whole way. I keep wanting to say that Minnesota is not as good as Detroit, and there are times I don't even think they're as good as Green Bay. They're 12-2, and they could win this division the way Detroit's kind of limping home with half a defense or a quarter of a defense or whatever it is they've got left. Minnesota's relatively healthy. All of the skill position people are there. All the offensive linemen are there. They're a real threat. They're a real threat. And the whole season, I kind of had in my head that they're not as good as the Lions.
Darnold didn't have a good game.
No, he missed some easy throws.
Yes.
He missed some easy throws, sailed some balls on some open things. Jefferson dropped a sure touchdown.
I think it was a short touchdown. He was trying to get up to beat that guy. It'd have been close.
Worst case would have been 1st and goal at the 1.
Oh, yeah. No, he had a drop. It was a drop.
It was a big drop.
he knew where that guy was, and he was trying to get it and get past him quick.
Not a ball you usually see. Not a ball you usually see him.
Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings. 296-0060. Full service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly, professional services, which you get every time you call 296-0060. Our great staff, our great team over at Legacy Title wants to wish you and yours happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Ashley Donald, Mariana Haynes, Adrian Galata, and Michael Platt. Buying, building, refinancing, nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds at Legacy Title, 296-0060.
Live from Mike Anderson's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Heading out to Las Vegas, deep in the desert, lives one man. One man of many sports bets. The one and only Andy Isco.
And we return here at Mike Anderson Seafood, Wesley at Nicholson. Come by and join us for lunch here today. Beautiful Christmas decorations, terrific atmosphere. And we're going to get some oysters here, right here underneath the oyster bar.
Let's go out to Las Vegas. My man, Andy Isco. Andy, we will be off next Christmas Eve. We're working a Sunday, so no Sundays off. But, happy holidays to you, sir. Merry Christmas.
Yes, happy holidays to you, the staff, and all the listeners, etc. And hopefully we'll get off to a nice start. We'll get some last-minute Christmas shopping money over this weekend for next Monday and Tuesday.
Well, let me ask you because, and we had two of these games last night where you had a couple of teams that are playing for something, and against some teams that are they tanking? Are they not? I mean, kind of. But the sports books are getting beat pretty consistently by a chunk of the betting public that's just betting against the bad teams. Tennessee, man, well, they look like they should be having. Well, no, Tennessee's going to lose it. The Jets for so long. Jacksonville, Jets and Jacksonville had to play each other, so somebody had to cover. The Raiders, you're well aware of that. I mean, the Raiders, when's the last time they covered? Well, depending on the line last night. But you get what I'm saying. I mean, at what point, the Browns, what point do you just switch, or looking for value? Or you stay with your guns? Tell us about that. Or is it's just something relatively new where it's kind of obvious? And again, the players are trying, but they're tanking by roster.
Well, yeah, that's it. I've said it almost every week. Players don't tank. They're out there playing hard. Number one, you don't play hard, you get injured. You have a greater chance for injury. Number two, you're playing to meet contract incentives. And number three, you don't care about some guy coming in to take your job because you get a better draft choice. You're out there to do your best. Now, it could be the personnel units that they put out on the field, playing backups, etc. Maybe not calling the plays that they normally would. But I don't think the teams tank. That maybe management and ownership put them in positions to not win. I think one of the things we have this year, and you mentioned it at the very start, we just have so many really bad teams this year that we've not had in years past. Usually there's been a great mediocrity. The mediocrity part, in fact, you take a look, there are 6 teams right now that are still alive with 3 weeks to go. In fact, it was, I think, 4 or 5 weeks to go. There were only 6 teams alive to get the 3 wild card berths in the AFC because so many of those teams were, sitting at 2 or 3 wins or maybe even 4 wins for a while. And in fact, it's interesting. I was going to bring up the fact that the Bengals still have a realistic shot. They will need some help, but they could start getting some help this Thursday night if the Chargers can beat the Broncos, because that would give the Chargers a series sweep of the Broncos. They'd both be 9 and 6. The Bengals can still end up 9 and 8. They host Denver in Week 17, so if they win that game, they would then have the tiebreaker edge over the Broncos, who end the season hosting Kansas City, and we don't know the situation in Kansas City. It's likely they'll be the number 1 seed, but with the Mahomes injury, and look, they're already 2-point home dog, 2.5-point home dogs this week. Kansas City might have to rest their players in week 18 if they're not locked up the number 1 seed. And of course, Buffalo's win at Detroit the other day made that a more realistic possibility because, of course, Boston Buffalo has the tiebreaker over Kansas City. So things got a lot interesting after this past weekend.
But Andy, let's about this week's schedule. For instance, like let's say the Giants. The Giants. I mean, we're talking about it was a spread against Baltimore, and they covered it easily. I mean, it was
16 and a half.
Against the Falcons. Do you lay that there? I mean, yeah, that's too much. But right now with these conditions, I mean, they're probably going to get.
A lot of it also has to do with
Colts and Titans. Colts and Titans.
Yeah, no, a lot of that, like the Raiders, they have no quarterback right now. The fact that they were able to make it interesting at the end is sort of unique.
Mac Jones is no prize himself. The Jaguars and the Raiders.
No.
The secondary market for Raiders tickets are really down.
I think they were going for like $100 last night, and the stadium still was about 80% full. But you look at a team like how can you? I did not play either of last night's game. I had no interest in playing the Raiders and the Falcons because I couldn't trust the Falcons to win by a big number on the road, and depending upon when you played it, you either won, pushed, or lost the game last night. This week, well, and again, one of the other handicapping factors that comes into this weekend are teams playing their last home game. Are they playing their last road game? Are they coming off, and several teams are 3 straight road games or 3 straight home games? And I don't have it all in front of me right now, but those are a number of factors that are going to lead me to teams like the Colts this week, to the Chargers this week, and other teams that may be smaller favorites. The fact that Atlanta's a 10-point favorite or that Baltimore was a big favorite last week, it doesn't mean you have to play that game if you like other games.
Gotcha. Any bowl games that we got good information?
I played Memphis earlier in the week. Last week,
yeah.
I see it's up to like 5. I know it was even at 4.5 last night. I think it's gone up a little bit.
It's
I
up
still
to
like
6.5 now.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Max, what was Memphis when we did the podcast earlier? It was not that much. So yeah, it's climbing, Andy.
Yeah. Last week at this time they were still 3.
Oh my God!
By the end of the week they were 4.5, and I actually made another play on them last night at 4.5.
We did a podcast on it early. Was that last week? Or Monday, but last week -2.5. So,
nice.
Yeah, these lines are, man, they are, and it's the kid is a senior quarterback for Memphis. That's always a good sign. Absolute last one. He's going to play. He is thrown for a gazillion yards and a gazillion touchdowns. Memphis still they finished 10-2. Did they finish 10-2?
They're 10-2.
Yeah, I mean,
they're playing a 6-6 team that didn't beat a bowl team this year.
And the kid's kind of having a homecoming. It's about 30 minutes from where he played high school ball in Texas.
And they get a new coach coming in.
Yeah, yes.
Interim coach. Rich Rodriguez is not going to coach the bowl game.
The interim coach.
Yeah.
I think.
This holiday, BMW has reunited 3 members of the family at the BMW Road Home Sales event. The Agile X3, engineered for any adventure. The plug-in hybrid X5, commanding the streets with unmatched presence. And the all-electric i4, charging into the future with impeccable performance. Hurry in to find what powers your journey at the BMW Road Home Sales event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Visit Valley BMW Center today for attractive lease and finance offers.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? If you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. Choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.
It's the offensive coordinator who is taking over as interim coach on this game. So, yeah. Haven't decided on the quarterfinal games. Part of what my thinking is I'd like to play Indiana against Notre Dame. If you take a look at the comparative performances against Purdue, they were almost identical. They both scored 66 points. Notre Dame shut them out. Indiana, I think, gave up 7 or something like that. My concern is Indiana and what they showed in their one test of the year against Ohio State. I mean, I love the coach. I love what this team has done. But this Notre Dame team they've sort of been under the radar to a certain extent because they weren't playing conference foes each week in big games. They were playing other games, and we saw what they did to a very good Army and a very good Navy team when both of them were unbeaten. I don't know if I can take those points. Maybe they'll bet Indiana down low enough that I'll have to consider Notre Dame, because I could see Notre Dame. I actually have Notre Dame in one of my sets of ratings as the number one team in the country, power rating-wise, just because of their consistency all season.
There you go.
With the exception of Northern Illinois, which was way back in the middle of the summer. It was like Game 2.
Do you like any of the other games in the playoff? SMU, Penn State, 8.5. Clemson, Texas, or Ohio State?
I am looking at Texas against Clemson. I've just not been. I was big on Clemson until some of their late season play. Both teams played Georgia. Clemson played them at the beginning of the year, and they were non-competitive. Texas played them, of course, in the championship game, and acquitted themselves nicely, losing in overtime. And the midseason game, I think, was 30-15 at home when Georgia was playing extremely well. So I lean a little bit to Texas simply because I think their health situation should be a little bit of, but more importantly, they're still like the number one team in defensive yards per play, and that's something that Clemson could struggle with offensively going up against what arguably, outside of Georgia. Now, we thought Georgia might have been the best defense that Clemson was going to see all year, but this was not the same Georgia defense, and I think that Clemson's offense could have some issues going against the Longhorns.
Yeah, I think Texas will benefit. Charlie, what about you? I think they're going to benefit. I mean, they're very talented, but Ewers has been sketchy. He's been bad lately down the stretch. He was not good against. He was terrible against Arkansas. He could be inconsistent.
I think Stark will have no hesitation in going to Art if he's struggling, say, into the second quarter and not looking good.
So was it?
Can't lose this game.
Under 20 points in your last two games against Georgia and Texas A&M for you, and like you said, not terribly.
They moved the ball against A&M. They did. They didn't score.
They did. They just couldn't score, and he threw that bad interception. That turned into the pick six.
But Arkansas was worse. At least A&M's got a little talent as a tough play. Man, Arkansas was ugly.
It was.
It was ugly.
That's three in a row.
They scored under. What did they score in Arkansas?
I think it was
about
22, something along those lines.
Well, it was ugly, but they're sloppy and inconsistent because they didn't play anybody. They weren't challenged. But I think that game against Georgia, they are going to benefit. I think they're a real factor in this
20
whole thing.
Against Arkansas.
20 or less, three straight games.
I'm also trying to make a case for taking the points with Tennessee. I don't care about the cold weather. It gets cold up in the hills of Tennessee as well.
Yeah, it gets a little cold.
I just don't like. What's that?
But Tennessee and Ohio State, but the Tennessee's best offensive option. He's about from 20 minutes down the road at Dutchtown here.
Yeah.
And look, in South Louisiana, Andy, we think North Louisiana's cold. Okay, so anyway, as far as that, and the quarterback's from Southern California in Cal Beach Poly. So I don't know.
Defense travels in the cold, though.
Under.
Yeah.
And you know Ohio State's doesn't have the most confidence with their quarterback, Will Howard.
And I would think that if there's one game that could go over, maybe it's the Penn State SMU game. The others look like unders.
I like SMU there because I think they got their sloppiness. They had such a bad start. I thought the stage affected them. Here's a team that didn't play close to the environment that they were playing in. Just the stage, rather.
Charlotte.
They could not approach that game like they had a game to lose. There's no way, especially with Alabama sitting there, the team that usually gets the benefit of the doubt more than anybody else in college football. No, they were sloppy. Turnovers early, dug themselves a hole. They got going. Clock ran out on them. But I think they'll come out to a much better start this time against Penn State.
By the way, is another question to concern yourself about. Clemson totally in control of that game and nearly lost it, and might have lost it if that field goal wasn't good.
I'm worried about Clemson's roster a little bit. But Klubnik and Charlie, that was his angle in the ACC championship game. Klubnik's been playing well.
He has
been playing well. He's got some seasoning.
He's throwing the ball well, but the running aspect.
He's a dual threat.
Yes, and the Pitt game, the run to win it.
Yeah, 50-yard touchdown.
He has really made some big plays with his feet.
Yeah. So, anything else? You got anything in the what's the name game? The NBA Cup tonight in right down the street from you.
like this Oklahoma City team. It's a reasonable number to go up against a Milwaukee team that's been, somewhat inconsistent.
Yeah. But Milwaukee's they've been trending up. I'm worried about my Cavaliers division bet a little bit right now because they're playing better. So.
Well, we're not that far from we're almost, not quite there. We're past the third point of the season, so another month we'll be halfway home, and we'll see what happens. And again, there's going to be injuries on the trade deadline. Let's see what teams do and see how healthy they can stay.
That line has bumped up a little bit. It was 4.5 last night and today. Now it's up to 5, and 56% of the tickets on Oklahoma City.
I think I got it at 4 early
really?
Yesterday morning, I think it was, yeah.
Very good. Yeah. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas, Andy. We appreciate it. We will talk to you on Sunday as part of Football Sunday.
I'll look forward to it, guys. Again, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and let's all have a good week.
Thanks, Andy.
Don't forget our friends over at K&M Automotive. Whatever service your car may need, the check engine light comes on. Well, we're not trained mechanics. Bring it in to see Jason Payne. He'll find out what's going on with your vehicle. Belts and hoses, general services, oil changes, tires, AC repair, undercar services, electronic work, transmission, you name it, over at K&M Automotive. They're on Segan Lane, just off of Perkins, between Perkins and I-10, right across the Segan Lane from Ambrosia Bakery. It's the only place I take my vehicle. They're open 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. I see my buddy Jason Payne at K&M Automotive, Segan, near Perkins.
Live in Mike Anderson's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Yanni from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Oh, you can tell it's getting close to the holidays. Everybody's in a pretty festive mood over here. Would you say that, Jimmy?
Oh, Sorat's got a new girlfriend. We're talking about, so just ho ho ho.
Is he giving out? Let me stay out of this. let me
I needed a laugh, man. Oh, the Baton Rouge generally are, man. Whew. Man, look crowded over there. Fine, look, nothing wrong with the help. Just it's crowded, man. Crowded.
Well, it's that time of year, There's
that's what I hear. That's what I hear.
A little bit,
I hear that.
A little bit more accident prone.
Season, kind of. Whatever.
That and a little bit more accident prone. Some of that.
Yeah. Rat's excited about the Waffle House down the street. Yep.
They are building a Waffle House.
He has spent
strategically close to the campus.
Yeah. Well, campus. Student apartments, I guess. What is it? A lot of. I mean, this is where all the biggest chunk of the LSU students live, huh?
A huge chunk of them, yeah. And would you say that their preferred time of dining at Waffle House is between 1 and 4 a.m. or
I would say so.
7 and 9 a.m.?
I would say so.
Yeah, it's conveniently located down there. Have you noticed there's a little bit less traffic? There's around
I have
here.
noticed.
The students have gone home.
I think Friday, Saturday was the last final.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they kind of matriculated their way.
Yes, I have a student back home myself. Yes.
And what is he doing?
Breathing.
It's a great time. It's like not really enough time to go get a job, But
breathing. He waited. He waited for my UPS package to come today. So
hey, look, man, that
productive.
Ain't nothing. That ain't nothing. Those things will disappear. Sometimes you leave them on the front.
I'm well aware. This was not a. I don't know. I don't ever order anything online. I had to order this though.
It's unbelievably convenient. What'd you order?
A cappuccino machine.
Is that what you bought yourself for Christmas?
You got it.
Okay.
Don't you leave. We taking a commercial break in 1 second. Sit down, sir.
Well, that's good. This is going to stop.
Sit down. I'm not done with you.
This is going to stop the lines that you've got to stay in every day.
Yeah. Oh, really, Charlie?
You see, Max,
yes.
we could have chipped in and bought this for him. If we'd have been thinking, we could have chipped in.
I got upgraded status at Beau Rivage, and I skipped the line now. Kind of like going to a fast pass when you come in with a VIP in Disney World. Man, don't make eye contact.
Yeah, keep your head down.
But I don't have – look, I've spent a lot of hours in that line at Beau Rivage and the roasted bean.
First class, second class, no class at Mike Anderson's when we return. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I want a seat in first class where I was booked and ticketed over a month ago.
Second class.
No man should be subjected to the indignity of being labeled or treated like a second-class citizen.
And no class.
Life had become like school on Sunday. No class. I'll tell you what then.
Whatever the adventure, there's a BMW engineered to take it on. The X3 delivers a striking design with agile performance. The 100% electric i4 packed with pure electric energy. Or the plug-in hybrid X5, an impressive versatile SUV granting full control on every journey. Choose what powers your next adventure during the BMW Road Home Sales Event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Hurry in for exceptional offers through January 2nd. Visit BMWUSA.com for details.
Hey, it is Ryan Seacrest. There's something so thrilling about playing Chumba Casino. Maybe it's the simple reminder that with a little luck, anything is possible. ChumbaCasino.com has hundreds of social casino-style games to choose from with new game releases each week. Play for free anytime, anywhere for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. Join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Would you call me sometime when you have no class?
First class, second class, and no class. Brought to you by Supreme Rice. Buy local with Louisiana-based Supreme Rice since 1936.
And we return here at Mike Anderson Seafood. Wesley at Nicholson. First class, second class, and no class. Our friends over at Supreme Rice. Use Supreme Rice for the holidays. Cooking with Supreme Rice for the holidays, are you?
Oh, I did some last night, brother.
What you got?
Wait. From what?
We put with the rice.
Well, yesterday's is still red beans and rice day.
Oh, that's right. It's Monday.
It's still red beans and rice.
Yeah.
And we don't have a big crowd at the house, Charlie, so I can freeze the red beans and take them out. But then, so I did a big old pot of the parboiled rice, and I did 3 Ziploc bags, and so I used one and put one in the fridge for another day before I put it back in the freezer. So just pop them back out. I'll do a little rice dressing. Do a little kind of
rice dressing. Love rice dressing.
What do you like in there? Some little bit of ground meat, a little bit of boudin, a little bit of livers. Yes, a little bit of lot of onions, the Holy Trinity, with a little garlic in there too. So just a kind of smelling around.
That's nice. All right.
Yeah.
First class. I'm gonna give. I didn't catch the very beginning of the Vikings and Bears last night. I was finishing up the podcast, but Stephen Miller sent me this on X, and I thought it was cool. And I later saw it again tonight with what the Vikings did for Randy Moss in the pregame last night. Chris Carter and Jake Reed, that famous.
I did see
they brought his jersey out.
Yes.
Moss is fighting cancer, and Justin Jefferson later in the night, he scored a touchdown. I said, this was for you, Randy, and I just thought it was really cool. Carter and Reed and Moss, that trio. Boy, I mean that team.
Robert Smith
was a terrific, and Randall Cunningham, came back and had that.
Cunningham,
that
Culpepper too.
Culpepper too, yeah.
Culpepper too.
That was a terrific. Anyway, I just thought it was really a nice
one of the
nice
best
deal
teams never to make it to the Super Bowl, huh?
That short. Gary Anderson missed his only kick of the year.
Only kick of the year.
One of the most accurate kickers in NFL history.
Well,
and missed.
But they were not quite. They were a little bit off that day. I mean, the final score they weren't lighting it up, but 15-1 regular season.
Yeah, and lost.
So they were 16-1. So finished 16-2. That was the second. That was I was at that Super Bowl. It was so the Falcons went and played Denver, and right off the bat you could tell. I mean, the cornerback was still on South Beach. That got lit up, for the post pattern for a touchdown. It was not competitive, but the Vikings would have been favored over the Broncos in that game.
Yeah. They were.
Broncos had to kind of an ugly conference championship win against the Jets that year, right?
That was the Parcells Jets, right?
Jets had the lead at half in Denver.
Yeah,
but one of the best teams not to make it to the. What's funny? I saw Justin Jefferson in a conversation, and we talked about. We had a long conversation on the differences between Jefferson and Chase.
Yeah.
And we know that Burrow had in. Chase was a year behind, if you remember. And now listen, they can still develop or progress and train and, and improve or tail off, after they leave LSU. But Joe Burrow made no qualms about it, publicly saying, hey, I'm going to Chase every time he's uncovered. So he was the more highly regarded one here. Even Jefferson was a year ahead. But these two guys are clearly the 1 and 2 guys. Who's third right now this year? Because these two guys are getting first-team All-Pro. Who's third?
The third best receiver in football. I can tell you who's got the most.
Tyreek Hill it was last year and year before, but he's not having a great year.
You're going to laugh, but you know who's got the most 100-yard games in on the season? Terry McLaurin at Washington.
Oh,
he's had a monster year.
He's got a better quarterback.
Yeah, he does.
And McLaurin and Jefferson are a good comparison too, because both haven't need that stud quarterback. That's the thing that Chase has going for him. He's got Burrow.
Yeah.
And then when Higgins is available, he gets a little less attention. But anyway,
it'll probably end up being CeeDee Lamb. But
that's what Rowe said.
Yeah, and I don't have any quarrel with that. I mean, Lamb's been fantastic. I like McLaurin an awful lot.
So Jefferson in an interview, I think of last week, they were talking about, said, man, I knew Randy because a lot of the comparisons, even before he played his first game, he was being compared to Randy Moss. And I thought, man, that's a little bit ambitious, huh? But he's having a great career. He's on his way to Canton. But he says, man, I played with his son, Thad, and, I was like, I don't know about this guy, man, because he was hard on his son. Thaddeus Moss, who played tight end on the best team in the college football history that we think of, 2019. But isn't that funny who Randy was so discipline was not something that was synonymous with Randy Moss for a big chunk of his career.
No,
okay?
Especially when he was coming out.
It was just flat out sick ability. And I always used to try and when you watch those guys going downfield and you see that the defensive back trying to catch up, because there was nobody that were ever trying to cover Randy Moss downfield that was able to look back to the ball, because they're trying to catch up.
Yeah.
And the whole thing. But I mean, he that big and that and then Brady just lit him up that year. But most gifted receiver we've ever seen. Maybe not the best, but the most gifted.
And he's pretty close to the best. I can't put him ahead of Rice, but he's as close. And why did he end up at Marshall? Committed to Notre Dame first. That didn't work out. Went to Florida State. That didn't work out. He had off-the-field problems. That's how he ended up at Marshall.
No, you said committed to Marshall. He was committed to Notre Dame.
That's what I said. Committed to Notre Dame. That didn't work out. Went to Florida State. That didn't work out. That's how he ended up at Marshall.
Yeah. And then slid in the draft.
Yeah, he did.
18?
It was in the teens. I don't
remember.
Or is that
exactly. He dropped down to about 18.
I thought it was closer to 13 for Sapp.
Both of them.
Yeah, they were both in the teens, and should have been top 5 guys based on ability.
But yeah, it's funny how that works out, huh? Some of the ones that are maybe not the most coachable were tougher on their kids.
A little bit better. Here's your 5 receivers that are directly behind Chase and Jefferson. You tell me which one you would take. Or vote for if it was 3 receivers. After Chase and Jefferson, it's CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jerry Jeudy, who has exploded in the second half of the season, Jackson Smith and Jigba from Seattle, and McLaurin. Those are the next 5. Yeah. Lamb, St. Brown, Jeudy, Smith and Jigba, and McLaurin.
Jefferson got to do the heart. We love you, Randy. That one's for you. After the first touchdown.
It was good. Out of those 5, who you think's had the best season? Lamb, St. Brown, Jeudy, Smith and Jigba, or McLaurin?
I like St. Brown. I like him. I like him.
I love the way he plays. I love the way he plays.
Does he have the most yards out of them?
CeeDee Lamb's got him by like 30.
Okay.
McLaurin's about 70 yards behind him.
A few weapons to share the ball with at Detroit.
He does. He does. The other first class I wanted to do was, we harp on these athletes every time they do something wrong. And, look, there's plenty of fodder out there. And, they make too much money. They spoil. They're entitled. They're just in this holiday season, since we're not going to be here next Tuesday, just a few of the athletes that give back. The Saints have been really good at this. Tyrann Mathieu, for instance, gave out 300 turkeys at Thanksgiving. There was Taysom Hill and Derek Carr with the patients over at Ochsner. The Saints just did a holiday huddle for kids. Jawan Johnson was out there. Alante Taylor was out there. LSU, the entire LSU football team volunteered with the Boys and Girls Club of Baton Rouge. They went holiday shopping. They gave every player paired with a kid. They went to Walmart. They went shopping. Brian Kelly was out there with all of them to do this. And there's many, many more examples. You find a lot of these guys have foundations. They do things around the holidays. So you'll probably see some of these stories in the next week. It ain't all bad, okay? They're not all greedy, entitled, so-and-sos, okay? I prefer to think, maybe it's a little Pollyanna at times, I prefer to think that for every so-and-so, there's 10 good ones. And you see that at the holidays with some of these guys. So kudos to them because, like I said, we cover it when they screw up, so give them credit for that. Second class.
Let me remind people, the ones that, okay, it's different now, and it's and it's just not like it used to be. If you're one of the, and look, it's a headache but everybody's playing by the same rules, okay. But if you're a little bit turned off by the asking for money, whatever, what is there anybody that is, if there's offered? And maybe that's different, but offer that your child is going through, and they want to pay them, a substantial amount of money to go to this school instead of the school of their choice.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yes, yeah,
It's pretty self-explanatory. And it's hard. I gave a speech about a month and a half ago where one guy was just so exasperated by what I was saying, he stormed out not because of me, but because of I was explaining the system to him. And, he says, is it fair that these college kids are making more than soldiers or doctors? I said, no, but it is, the case went to the Supreme.
This holiday, BMW has reunited 3 members of the family at the BMW Road Home Sales event. The Agile X3, engineered for any adventure. The plug-in hybrid X5, commanding the streets with unmatched presence. And the all-electric i4, charging into the future with impeccable performance. Hurry in to find what powers your journey at the BMW Road Home Sales event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Visit Valley BMW Center today for attractive lease and finance offers.
Looking for excitement? Chumba Casino is here. Play anytime, play anywhere. Play on the train, play at the store, play at home, play when you're bored. Play today for your chance to win and get daily bonuses when you log in. So what are you waiting for? Don't delay. Chumba Casino is free to play.
Experience social gameplay like never before. Go to Chumba Casino right now to play hundreds of games, including online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Live the Chumba life at ChumbaCasino.com. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Court, and that's how it ended up. So, I mean, again, you're right, Jimmy. You wouldn't turn this down if it was you or your kid. It's the system
I'm
that it is.
paying for a college education. You know
what
I mean?
Is it cheap?
It would be nice to have it. We'd be fine with just the scholarship of the cost of living and the style, the nutrition centers and the treatment and all that. Now, listen, they also devote a lot of their time, to practice and training and things like that year round, weights and stuff, meetings. But it's don't hate the player, hate the game.
Second class, the LSU portal class is coming together. If you want to see some film on some of these guys, the first 7, we got it up on the Handycast at YouTube right now. One of the ones that I'm really intrigued with is Barrion Brown from Kentucky. 3 years at Kentucky, 122 catches, 1,500 yards, 11 touchdowns. He's also returned 5 kickoffs for touchdowns in his 3 years. So he's a really, really dangerous kickoff return guy. You don't see as many punt returns in college football now. You know that less than half, or right at half of the SEC teams had enough punt returns to qualify for the 1.2 a game. The punters are so good, the hang time, the angling, and all that. But kickoff returns can still be a thing. Most of all, what I like about him, he's fast. He's got a build that's very similar to Chris Hilton. And I hope that Hilton comes back, and there's been rumors about maybe he's going to put himself in the portal at one point. When he came back, he made a difference. When they finally got on the same page in the last game, you saw what it could have been. If he's there, and Barrion Brown, who can definitely run 6'1", 185 pounds, Jimmy, he's missed one game in 3 years. You're talking about a very, very solid in the Southeastern Conference, 11 touchdowns, average 12.5 yards a catch multiple, high catch, total for the 3 seasons. I'm intrigued by him with Nussmeier. And I think there's going to be some more help coming in the portal at the wide receiver position. I think that Nick Anderson is still a get for them from Oklahoma, who missed all the last season. But I like Barrion Brown an awful lot. So he's my good with a chance to be great. No class. Jimmy, how much have we talked since the beginning of the season about the New Orleans Pelicans? Almost none, right?
No, not a whole lot.
Very little. They won their first 2 games of the season. That was pretty good.
2-0.
Yeah.
Max was still letting us know.
Since October 25th. You know how many games they've won since then?
2.
3. You saw one of them, the game against Denver.
Yeah, enjoyed the heck out the G League game.
It was, right. That's the only reason that they won. Man, look, I can understand some bad luck. I can understand some injuries here and there, but I find myself at a loss as to a program that has been more cursed. Okay, even when they try to do the right things.
Maybe Max needs to bring his billy goat to the blender.
Do something. Where's Marie Laveau when you need her? But 5-22 for a team that is not trying to tank. A team that is actually trying. I mean, they're in contention for the first pick in the draft with the Wizards and the Jazz, who are desperately trying to tank. They are losing as many games as the teams that are trying actively to lose. And they've painted themselves into a corner with Brandon Ingram where it looks like he's untradeable. I saw a deal yesterday on ESPN where they're talking about players at the trade deadline, since a lot of them just became eligible to be traded, that – the Pelicans with Zion Williamson, they really don't want to release him outright. Release him outright. Because if they release him outright at the end of the season, they owe him no more money. It may be that it crossed their mind that they may just cut him all together just so they don't have to pay him anymore. This guy was ballyhooed as, one of the top, guys to come out in the draft in however long. That's your 2 best players, I guess. They dangle the idea of trading Herb Jones or Trey Murphy, and it's like, wait, hang on, those are the guys we actually like. DeJounte Murray, who had never been hurt in Atlanta or San Antonio for any amount of time, comes here and gets hurt. I mean, not even to the end of the first game. Dyson Daniels, who was traded in the Murray trade to Atlanta, was on a podcast last week and said, got to be careful with that group over there. They're very, very fragile.
He's getting a lot of playing time with the Hawks. Hawks been surging a little bit. He's kind of a nice piece to them because him and DeAndre Hunter are probably their best defenders, which they need because, guys like Trae Young are not exactly defensive guys.
No. I just find myself – there are moves that Griffin has made that I actually agreed with and that have kind of blown up on him. Williamson can't stay on the floor. Ingram, he's good but not great. Everybody likes him, but nobody really likes him, enough to give him a max because he's not worth that. He's one of those middle tier of the NBA, upper to middle tier of the NBA guys.
Middle, man.
When I say middle, I'm talking about he's not a max salary guy. He's probably
he proved that. Nobody gave him one.
On a great team, he's probably the 3rd best player. On a good team, he's the 2nd best player, and if he's the best player you got, you probably don't have a good team.
How many years has he been the best player for the Pelicans?
You're talking about when Williamson's on the team and when Williamson actually plays.
Well,
I mean,
no, Charlie. Well,
2 or 3.
When he plays 75 games, that means more than when he plays 35 games.
Yeah.
How many times have you been the best player on the team?
Probably 3 times. Three times in
At
6 years.
least. How many years have you been on the team?
6.
Is that it, Ingram?
I think it's 6.
That's it. What seems like
he's 27 years old. I mean, he's been in the league since he was 18.
You spent how many years with the Lakers?
3, I believe. They traded him in the middle.
Okay, 6 years. I'd say no. We're on the same page. About 3 or 4.
Let me check.
At least half of the time. He's been their best player.
Yeah.
He's been better than McCollum.
Oh yeah. He's,
okay. Well, who's when Zion last year when he was healthy? I mean, his numbers were great.
3 years with the Lakers and 6 years with the Pels.
Okay.
And
this year 6.
This is the year 6.
Okay.
Yeah. So in the previous 5 years, he's been their best player. 3.
3 out of 5, he's been their best player.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe
don't kill him.
No, and he's not a bad player. I mean,
Charlie's been their best player.
They're the most frustrating. They're more frustrating than the Saints because at least with the Saints, it's like we know what you guys need to do. You just won't do it. Okay. The Pelicans are even more frustrating because they have had some good fortune. They have won the lottery a couple of times, and it wasn't lotteries in the year where there wasn't a really good player. You know, they didn't have to take who was the stiff out of UNLV the Cavs took that year. I forgot his name.
Say Bennett.
Yeah, Anthony Bennett. They had Williamson. They had Davis, and what's left of the Davis and
won the
Holiday
lottery
trades.
Twice.
Yeah, in good years to win the lottery.
Big years.
Yeah.
And all 30 teams are going to pick the guys they picked. I mean, it was a celebration.
Right.
I remember that night.
Gosh, it was.
And the
it
number
was
2 pick.
How in the hell are you 5 and 22?
Me and EJ were coming back home from school and basketball practice. Man, we were fired up, Jack.
Sure.
Yes.
I jumped off the couch.
Oh, no.
Jumped
Come
off
on.
the couch.
Easy.
Jumped off the couch. It takes me to get to jump off the couch. I jumped off the couch when they got 5 and 22. How can you go 5 and 22?
What's that guy that does the memes on the website?
On
Twitter.
Craig Schilling.
Craig Schilling. I want a character of Hanny jumping off the couch when the Pelicans got the ping pong balls for
I'd root for the damn ping pong balls again this year, but what does it seem to matter? I mean, they get Cooper Flagg. Okay. I mean, how long before he's hurt? Or before something happens to him?
How long you been look, just like that old Cubs shirt says. Anybody can have a bad century.
Well, they hadn't been there a century. Wow. Just a mess. First class, second class, no class, brought to you by Supreme Rice, part of the Climate Smart program. Future generations of Louisiana farmers can take advantage. They promote methane emissions reductions and water conservation. Pick up Supreme Rice wherever you shop for rice. Supreme Rice and SupremeRice.com. Take a break here at Mike Anderson's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Yanni from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Back here at Mike Anderson's Live at Lunch. College basketball tonight. Probably the best game on the card is in Charlotte. Careful if you're looking at this game. North Carolina and Florida. Florida's listed as a home team, but this game is in Charlotte tonight. Gators take a 10-0 record in against a 6-4 North Carolina team. Florida's a 3.5 or 4-point favorite, depending on where you look. Jimmy, I'm looking
away from home though for North Carolina.
Is. That's why I'm asking. All right, so let me give you a couple things here. Florida has played Power 5 or Power 4 schools 4 times this season.
North Carolina played about 7.
Every one of them by double digits. North Carolina has played 5 of these games. They have lost 4 of them. Mm-hmm. Now, that was Kansas, was only a 3-point loss. They lost to Auburn by 13. They lost to Michigan State by 3. They lost to Alabama by 15, and then they beat Georgia Tech. Florida has played Arizona State, Virginia, Wake Forest, and Florida State, and won all of those games by double digits. So what to make here's what I know about Florida, the little bit that I've seen of them. They're one of the better rebounding teams in the SEC. especially offense. They're the second best offensive rebounding team in the SEC. They're also a pretty good defensive team. Their field goal percentage against trails only.
This holiday, BMW has reunited 3 members of the family at the BMW Road Home Sales event. The Agile X3, engineered for any adventure. The plug-in hybrid X5, commanding the streets with unmatched presence. And the all-electric i4, charging into the future with impeccable performance. Hurry in to find what powers your journey at the BMW Road Home Sales event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Visit Valley BMW Center today for attractive lease and finance offers.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Tennessee.
North Carolina's
in the
not.
SEC. So what say you about, I know you've seen South Carolina, North Carolina a couple times.
Tricky quasi-home road game.
Yeah.
It's not on campus, but, I mean, come on.
Charlotte is North Carolina through and
yeah,
through.
I mean, it's
like when you used to have those first-round games in Greensboro. Remember, a lot of first-round NCAA games in
Charlotte's
Greensboro.
the most populated. I mean, that's your biggest alumni base for North Carolina.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah. So I mean, it's going to be all Carolina. So it's a home game. It's just not on campus. That concerns me a little bit, but Florida, better team. Carolina they're a pretty team. They just don't defend and rebound very hard, and it's just they go give up a lot of points.
They're not as big as they usually are.
Well, they got size.
They got some size, but I usually think of North Carolina as gigantic.
They always have size. I don't know if that's the biggest problem with them.
Because Florida's a very, very good rebounding
Florida,
team.
yeah.
Very good rebounding team.
Okay, you got one of the better teams in the SEC against a team when it's all said and done will be in maybe the 4 to 6 range, could be the top 3 of the ACC.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it's one of those. I mean, we got to see how their season develops, but
is it possible that Florida has flown enough under the radar because Tennessee is one in the country and Auburn had that unbelievable run in Maui? Alabama's played some high-profile games, and here's Florida.
If Florida hasn't done what those teams have done recently in a tournament and just in a regular season. This is Florida. This is Golden's best team, and you saw the LSU-Florida State game. I mean, that was a pretty entertaining level of play. And Florida State, man, they went to Tallahassee and outclassed them like really. I mean, it was just, Florida State made a little run and they stretched it out, and I think they won by like 11 or 12. But they were just so much better than them. And we know about this accusation. I just keep saying, I mean, they got a good team this year, and they're going to be overshadowed because has he even won a tournament game? What's he spent his Gainesville? I think he won one at San Francisco.
He did win one at San Francisco. That's how he got the job. That really good team. No, I actually don't think he's won a tournament game yet.
But this is one of those teams that's a jump up, but they haven't been doing it. So, no, look, man, with Florida football, this is one of their better ones right now. I mean, they're really good. They're really good. I don't think he's won a game
in a tournament.
Did he play Murray? Did he play Murray State at San Francisco?
Gosh,
when they were in the tournament,
I'm trying to remember who they beat. I got to look it up because I don't remember. They may have. They may have. He has not won one.
What year did they win? Did they win the?
They won in 22.
2022.
San Francisco. They got in the tournament.
Yeah.
And his first 2 years at Florida, they were in the NIT. They lost, and then last year they got into the tournament and lost in the first round. So. That San Francisco team lost to Murray State. Very good.
In overtime, I believe.
92 to 87. It was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's coaching Murray State?
My man, McManiac.
Yes, he was for sure. Anyway, that's tonight, 6 o'clock from Charlotte. Your best college game on the schedule tonight. There's also a bowl game tonight.
Memphis, get on it before it goes up higher.
It has been moving quite a bit.
Yeah.
That's the was it the Frisco
These bowl games,
Frisco
man.
Bowl, I believe.
Yes,
Frisco
Bowl.
Yeah.
Texas, not San Francisco.
8 o'clock on.
There was some LSU fans that were a little confused that we weren't playing in California on Saturday against SMU.
Oh, Frisco, Texas.
Yes.
Got it. Well, it's your doubleheader on ESPN tonight. You watch North Carolina, Florida at 6 o'clock in basketball, and then the football game between Memphis and West Virginia is at 8.
What's my man, the quarterback for Memphis? What's his name again? Hannigan.
Yeah, and it's not just him.
Remember they were we were doing the Outer Lock segment before on pregame, and we was at the Group of 5 watch. I would have given Memphis. I thought Memphis was more on the radar to get that spot. I would have made my favorite instead of Boise State, but it was that game in Tallahassee, and boy, we thought it was a big deal. They did too, and well, who thought that Florida State was going to be 2-10 at the time? That was even after they lost. Georgia Tech
in the
and Boston College.
Yeah, they had. It's Hennigan, the tailback Mario Anderson, the wide receiver Rock Taylor, all three seniors, all three playing tonight.
Oh, the big. I was wondering about the running back.
Big three. Hennigan, here's your stat of the day on him.
He's thrown for like 130 touchdowns. Or
yeah.
something.
Well, he's the only 4-year starter in college football that has started all 4 years at the same school.
There we go.
So this will be his farewell.
Yeah, his career numbers.
Oh, it's significant.
95 touchdowns.
Okay. That's pretty
95 touchdowns. And I don't have him. You have him starting 4 years?
That's what it says.
Okay, I got 3 years of stats here. He might have done even more than that.
He's their all-time leader in passing yards, completions, and touchdowns, as well as the AAC career leader in passing yards.
Career, 13,336 yards, 7.8 yards an attempt, 95 TDs.
Yeah, 13,000 yards. It'd take you 4 years to do that, for sure.
Yeah. Don't forget our friends over at Workbox. My man Martin Padial and the great staff over at Workbox Services. And so, man, it's moving time. If you're going from apartment to apartment or dorm to apartment, things like that, you want to try and make that move that much easier. No problem with our friends over at Workbox. The storage containers, all of your movable storage needs, commercial or residential. Our shipping containers will come in various sizes, 8x8, 8x10, 8x20, 8x40, not just one size. And these units can be customized for any use. Custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders, dual purpose, part office, part storage, climate control, shelving, lighting, different materials if you want, whatever you need or whatever you desire. So the shipping containers, again, however you want them done. Workbox Services and WorkboxLLC.com, 343-4886. Give my buddy Martin Padial a call at Workbox, 343-4886.
Live at Mike Anderson's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Yanni from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Back here at Mike Anderson's Live at Lunch again. Show available on demand at LouisianaSports.net. Also, 104.5ESPN.com. New Handycast up with a video of some of the incoming players in the transfer portal to LSU. That's up right now on YouTube. Jimmy, how does it feel to be influencing the NFL the way that you do? They sent you a Christmas present today. What have you been asking for?
Man, I don't know where the hell you're going with this, bro. You got come on. What do you hate? You hate the New York
Jets and the New York Giants.
Oh, they're pulling the New York team off of the prime
pulling
time?
the Giants.
Can they pull the Saints Packers off, too, while they're at it?
I'm getting to that one.
Oh, really? Good.
Well, no, not about pulling it off the
shoot.
game. They pulled the Giants and Colts off for Week 17 in favor of Falcons, but they're playing the Commanders, so this is a game with the end of the playoff implications.
Falcons Commanders?
Falcons Commanders.
No, that's an important game.
It is.
Yeah.
It
Giants aren't playing for anything.
The Giants are playing the Colts. They pulled it off, moved it up to 1 o'clock in the afternoon, or 1 o'clock Eastern time, and they put you with Commanders.
Very good. What happened to Saints Packers? Why is that on?
I don't know why. Well, I guess it was stuck there for television reasons or whatever. But I can't. Did you notice what the line is in that game?
7, 8, 9.
13.5. Saints are a 13.5. I mean, you got the greatest hits here on Monday night. You got the backup quarterback, likely. Okay, Rattler played better than him.
Rattler will get his start this time.
Packers are playing at home for something in the cold. You can't have much more going against you.
Rizzi will go for 2, though.
Well, I mean, I didn't necessarily blame him for going for 2.
I mean, whatever.
Saints have not been this big of an underdog in 25 years, 25 seasons.
Damn.
The last time the Saints were this big of an underdog was to the greatest show on turf. They were a 14-point dog or actually a 13.5-point dog to the Kurt Warner Rams back in 2000 season. If it goes up over 2 touchdowns, you got to go all the way back to 1994 when they played the Jerry Rice, Steve Young Niners in San Francisco.
Covered Sunday.
They did cover.
Well, everybody, a lot of conversation about the stop clock, as it should be. I mean, it was clocked at. It was timed at 4 seconds. They clock it with 3 seconds. You do the math, but Hockley was asked by Luke Johnson, I believe.
I think he was the pool reporter. I believe
and
they selected.
Asked him, So now
they blew it.
What's the name of that official?
This holiday, BMW has reunited 3 members of the family at the BMW Road Home Sales event. The Agile X3, engineered for any adventure. The plug-in hybrid X5, commanding the streets with unmatched presence. And the all-electric i4, charging into the future with impeccable performance. Hurry in to find what powers your journey at the BMW Road Home Sales event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Visit Valley BMW Center today for attractive lease and finance offers.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
What is it called? Max, you said it the other day. That is a term for his title, rather, his covering official. Yes, the covering official. Yes, he blew it. So whatever.
That's an unfortunate choice of terms.
Can't be reviewed. But did you Or did he tell Luke that that's all I can tell you kind of deal?
He said the guy made a mistake, that they
made a mistake.
The spotting official made covering official. There was a lot of talk.
He said the covering official, not the spotting official.
The covering official is what said that the official that spotted the ball was the one that made the mistake.
Wait. Why the spotting guy? He didn't call for timeout. There was no signal. The clock just stopped.
That's who he blamed it on.
Well, no. The covering of it is the one on the clock, not the guy on the field. There's nobody on the field that was. No, Charlie. Nobody signaled above, waving your hands above your head to signal to stop the clock.
So he stopped the clock on his own.
Yes.
Okay, that was a mistake.
I was screaming at the. Why is the clock stopped?
There's
a lot of timeouts.
There's a lot of talk about the gambling implications to that.
Oh, teaser minus 1.5. How's that work out?
The teasers, but what did it go off at the Queen? What did it
7.5.
Okay, so the Saints were covering anyway. This is teasers and
teasers.
Yeah, if you bought
teasers in a 2-point conversion from losing. That didn't work out that way, but had they converted the 2-point conversion, and
imagine the uproar then. If they win the game.
Imagine the uproar. What is everybody They got two idiots that can't hold on to the ball crossing with nobody around, crossing the goal line. Well, which one that is being talked about the most?
The officials.
The Colts.
Yeah, the Jonathan
the Colts,
Taylor.
Because it cost them the game. Probably.
They would have gone
most
up,
likely.
They would have gone up 20-7.
Did it cost Cincinnati the game? No,
they ended up winning.
Yeah,
and at least that was a defensive guy, right?
Okay.
I mean, it's still stupid, but at least it's a defensive guy. Jonathan Taylor.
Is that where we are now? Is that where we are? Okay,
no,
you get a bit of a pass. You get.
No.
We're going to be a little bit more lenient on you if you're a defensive player.
No, you're
who's
still
an
dumb.
idiot.
You're still dumb. Jonathan Taylor, though, has been in the end zone. How many touchdowns he scored in his life?
A lot.
A bunch.
13-point lead against a team that has less than 200 yards. That cost him a game.
How every coach at every level in the United States of America does not have this at some point.
It's just the opposite. You should be cradling because that's all they can do at that point. They're just coming from behind to try and strip you. That's all they can do. They're desperate. You see the end zone, you have to cradle it. No, they're sticking it out. Why?
There's no
how long does this
benefit.
have to go on?
There's no benefit to this. None.
How many times has it happened this year in the NFL? 5? 4 or 5?
I'm trying to think of going back. I mean, college football too.
Oh, there's been 4 or 5 in college.
Yeah. How this is not. I mean, this is like going out and screwing up the coin toss, and having to kick off two times
It's
instead
like
of
Coach
receiving
Prime taking the ball first in overtime. Huh?
Yeah, that equally foolish. This is just a selfish deal. Well, you're trying to showboat a little bit. It's going to be that much trouble to hold on the ball for another
with the Colts'
fraction
easy
of a second.
schedule. With the Colts' easy schedule, this would have put them in a tie with Denver. If they win, they put them in a tie, and obviously head-to-head, they get the tiebreaker. And with their remaining schedule, they're probably going to win their last 3. They play the Giants. You just mentioned that. They play the Titans, right?
They would have still been one game behind the Broncos had they won this game.
Okay, but they would have had the tiebreaker.
Yeah, they would have had the tiebreaker.
Broncos got to go to Cincinnati. Casey might not be playing for much at that time.
Right.
So,
and the Colts,
it's hideous.
The Colts get the Titans, the Giants, and the Jaguars to finish up. So you can't get any much easier than that. Yeah, this game was a pretty big deal, Jimmy, I would say.
Yeah.
And this is Jonathan Taylor, their best player, one of them.
He is their best player. Boy, Richardson, sometimes it is ugly to watch him throw the ball. God, yeah, this just in. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do, man.
I do. They're going to let him play for another year or two, and then they're going to go find another quarterback.
You think that's going to be?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
It'll take another. I'm not saying maybe he can improve, but on the job training is tough in the NFL. Once you get deep enough into your career, they just if you haven't shown improvement by year 3, then generally they start talking about they were talking about moving on from Bryce Young after 1 year. They didn't do it, but at least have
He's not
those
out the woods yet, but he's sure
discussions.
moving in the right direction. He threw 2 more picks Sunday.
He's better than he was at the beginning.
Oh no,
of the
there's no
season.
question. Well, but Richardson will get better. Is it enough though? I mean, he's so bad passing.
And how many?
I mean, he's the worst passer in the league. Huh? Got to be. I mean, there's some basic throws, and then he'll drop one man like, whoa, where'd that come from? He's D's, huh?
I could make a Desmond Ridder joke, but I don't want to upset Max. He already owes me money.
Charlie, I don't care who was quarterback behind that off. They may go through 2 or 3 more with that offensive line. It is. Poor Ridder.
Richardson can't make a lot of the easy throws, but he makes some of the damnedest throws you've ever seen in your life.
You want to talk about a damn
60-yarders on a line.
That offensive line is a tank job with the Raiders. They are making no qualms about it. They're going to get one of the 2. They're number 1 or 2 right now, right?
Them and the Giants are tied.
Well, guess what? Those 2 teams are not winning again.
No, and they're
not winning.
They
again.
don't want to.
No.
Sanders and Ward go to those 2 teams.
They're not trying to hide it as well. So, Total Maintenance, our friends at Total Maintenance, my buddy Lucas Ragusa over at Total Maintenance, one of South Louisiana's oldest and largest air conditioner and heating companies over at Total Maintenance. I was seeing at the Corey Johnson show on Your View last night. Total Maintenance, a fine sponsor. Corey's worked down there, one of my Catholic League partners from years and years. and colleagues of just a good guy, does a great show. But over at Total Maintenance, service today, every day means same day service. Now, that means you'll never sleep hot when it is hot. Call today, get service today. Factory authorized dealers for Carrier, for American Standard, Dakin, and Rheem products. Authorized dealer for Generac and Cummings generators. Membership programs are very smart. Got way too much going on. And that's the least of your worries about making sure that you have it on your calendar to get your annual good service check, clean and check for your unit. And it's smart. So we'll remind you. Covers all services with discounts, extended warranties, and we'll let you know when it's time for your unit to be serviced so you don't have to. Going to give you lower monthly bills and also extend the lifetime of your unit as well. Total Maintenance. It's in Baton Rouge in New Orleans. The Baton Rouge number is 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance, 480-1000.
Live at Mike Anderson's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch.
Thibodeau Store. You buying for Dad here this holiday season? Check it out, ThibodeauStore.com. Huge number of grills, including the big green egg cookers that are available for you, and shipping is available at ThibodeauStore.com. Some last-minute gift ideas if you're working outside. Shop heated gear, jackets and pullovers. Shop heaters are also available on the website at ThibodeauStore.com. And if you're going into the store itself, some unique items. They're terrific with the Cypress furniture. They do rocking chairs. They do gliders. They do swings. They do benches. Some real unique stuff that they make there. Crawfish pods, jambalaya pods are available too. For your home improvement specialists at the Thibodeau Store, don't depend on a YouTube video. If you're working through this, they can save you time, save you money. They'll give you expert advice. It's what they give you over the big box stores. Lots of fishing gear available as well at the Thibodeau Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau. Online with delivery available. It's ThibodeauStore.com.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Yanni from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
You like the Bad Beat segment with Van Pelt, right? It's,
most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's amusing to watch. How's this one? David Montgomery, terrific season for the Bears, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep, half a yard from his
total 775.5. He finished at 775. His season is done. That's a pretty tough one.
Yeah, but that's your biggest concern, Charlie, when we're talking about these season totals for individual NFL players. It is the injuries.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the injuries. But, yeah, it's brutal. I mean, that's as close as you get.
And he was playing.
Is that a tougher one than Corley, anytime TD and first TD for the Jets, like Jeff G had?
Oh man, yeah. Hey, boy, he had such an
another
overlay.
one. That's another.
He had such an overlay on that.
That's the third one that did it this year.
Jameis Winston on the bench for the Browns. They're starting DTR this week. The interceptions have finally done him in.
Is he done?
No, he's a backup quarterback. He'll sign on somewhere as a backup quarterback. He's not.
Can't he stay the backup for Cleveland?
I don't know what Cleveland's going to do with Deshaun Watson. To try to get him out of the building. I mean, I'm not sure if that's
Watson
possible.
Has played his last game in the NFL. Period. He is never taking a snap in the NFL again. Ever. He was the worst quarterback before all of his baggage.
Right.
So
I'm just wondering if they got to hold him in the building. They got to hold his contract? Do they keep Winston around? I don't know. It's Memphis and West Virginia tonight. You're still in Memphis, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody, for participating here at Mike Anderson's. Tomorrow we're at Modesto from all of us here. And Jordan back in the studio. I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This holiday, BMW has reunited 3 members of the family at the BMW Road Home Sales Event. The Agile X3, engineered for any adventure. The plug-in hybrid X5, commanding the streets with unmatched presence. And the all-electric i4, charging into the future with impeccable performance. Hurry in to find what powers your journey at the BMW Road Home Sales Event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Visit Valley BMW Center today for attractive lease and finance offers.
It can get lonely climbing Mount McKinley, so to entertain myself, I go to ChumbaCasino.com. At Chumba Casino, I can play hundreds of online casino-style games for free, like online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Plus, I get a daily login bonus. It's just too bad that up here, I don't have anyone to share my excitement with. Woohoo!
Live the Chumba life. Anytime, anywhere. Play for free now at ChumbaCasino.com. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
All right, we're all set for the party. I've trimmed the tree, hung the mistletoe, and paired all those weird-shaped knives and forks with the appropriate cheeses. And I plugged in the Bartesian.
Bartesian?
It's a home cocktail maker that makes over 60 premium cocktails, plus a whole lot of seasonal favorites, too. I just got it for $50 off. So, how about a Cosmopolitan or a mistletoe margarita?
I'm thirsty.
Watch. I just pop in a capsule, choose my strength, and...
Wow, it's beginning to feel more seasonal in here already.
If your holiday party doesn't have a bartender, then you become the bartender. Unless you've got a Bartesian, because Bartesian crafts every cocktail perfectly in as little as 30 seconds. And I just got it for $50 off.
'Tis the season to be jollier.
Add some holiday flavor to every celebration with the sleek, sophisticated home cocktail maker, Bartesian. Get $50 off any cocktail maker at Bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.